How's it, crypto munchers? Back with another video. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the price. Something you've been asking for. Have they been asking for it? You got it. Now, if you're looking for me to tell you whether the price is gonna go up or whether it's gonna go down, you're going to be highly disappointed. Stay tuned! Now here's a brief history of the price of Bitcoin. In May of 2009, a guy named Laszlo Hanyecz bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. This is the first recorded transaction of the Bitcoin value. Nobody else was buying Bitcoin at the time. What they were doing is they were mining it. Mining still happens today, but back in 2009, that was pretty much the only way that you could get Bitcoin, unless somebody who mined it had it and was willing to give it to you. But there was no value to it. And these 2 pizzas transactions set the value price at 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. Now fast forward to October of 2009, a Finnish developer by the name of Martti Malmi sold 5,050 Bitcoin for $5.02, which set a precedent of the Bitcoin price of $1 for 1,000 Bitcoin. Now, this is the first transaction that we think happened from Bitcoin to fiat, and it just so happened to be US dollars. And this shows us that Bitcoin doesn't really have a price. Just like any other currency, like the US dollar, for example, Bitcoin doesn't have a price.
What?
The US dollar doesn't have a price. What it has is an exchange rate. It can be exchanged for other currencies at a given rate at a given time. So a certain amount of pesos buys you a certain amount of dollars. A certain amount of yen buys you a certain amount of US dollars. And so on. Just like that, Bitcoin also has an exchange rate. It doesn't have a price. But we do use the term price to indicate what Bitcoin is being traded at the moment. Now, how do we know what the exchange rate of Bitcoin is at the moment? Well, we can go into different sites such as bitcoinaverage.com or coinmarketcap.com, and these websites give you the average price of Bitcoin. They take the information from all the exchanges and they volume weight it to determine what the average price of Bitcoin is. So then we're talking about exchanges, right? How do the exchanges know what the price of Bitcoin is? Well, they don't. The exchanges don't know the price of Bitcoin. The exchanges don't set the price of Bitcoin either. What the exchanges do is they discover the price. This is called price discovery. In any exchange, whether it's the stock market or the bond market. But right now we're talking about the Bitcoin market. In any exchange, you have asks and bids. Bids are people who are buying Bitcoin, therefore they're bidding for the price of Bitcoin. And the asks are selling Bitcoin. You have people and computers, by the way, bots. And she's in control. You like that? All having an opinion of what the price of Bitcoin is, or the price of Bitcoin they want to do something at. So the bids are saying, I want to buy Bitcoin at this price. And the asks are saying, I want to sell Bitcoin at this price. And the price is where they meet in the middle. And that is where the last trade happened. So the last trade that happened gives everybody an idea of what the price is. The asks and the bids make up the spread, and the spread makes up the order book. This is what determines the price. Now, if one exchange has the price of $7,000 for one Bitcoin, and another exchange claims that the price of Bitcoin is $7,250, not one is wrong and the other one correct. No, they are both correct at that time in that particular exchange. So this is how you come up with the price. You got price discovery by exchanges, and you got other institutions compiling that information and giving you an average Bitcoin price. Now, another question is, how come the Bitcoin price is different in other countries, or even more expensive?
Kokozia, the name for a father, sound like God. I make mistake.
Well, the answer to that is because Bitcoin is more portable than some national currencies, and therefore it carries a premium. The person who is selling Bitcoin is going to ask for 20%, maybe 10% more of that national coin, because it is not as portable as Bitcoin. Therefore, it's not as good. And so if you were to buy Bitcoin in one of these countries using US dollars, the price would be the same as if you were to buy it in the United States. So the difference is not where you buy the Bitcoin at, rather is what currency you use to exchange for Bitcoin. So another question is, how do you predict the price of Bitcoin? Well, I'm here to tell you that no one person can predict the price of Bitcoin. Not even Satoshi Nakamoto. Not even him. Not even him. And so all these people that claim to know how to predict the price are basically lying.
Hi.
Hi.
New in the building?
Yeah, I just moved in Monday.
Oh. You like it so far?
Mm-hmm. Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big jugs. I mean, your boobs are huge. I mean, I want to squeeze them. Mama!
Now you might say, hey, wait a minute. I know this guy. He predicted that something was going to happen with the price of Bitcoin, and he was right. He nailed it. Well, that's a good argument.
and run with the fucking numbers. If it's less than $2 million by the end of 2020, then mathematics itself is a flawed discipline.
So my answer to that is, basically, when you talk a lot of shit, you're bound to step on something. Meaning that if you just throw predictions around, you're gonna get some right. But you're going to neglect the ones that you got wrong. So these people that got it right at some point got it wrong many more times than right. But they don't talk about that. And they're not gonna tell you about that. Sometimes they don't even remember that. They forget the wrong predictions and they only remember the good predictions. Now another argument might be that you know some professional, someone with a PhD in economics or a computer scientist, and they claim to know what the Bitcoin price is going to do. Well, if you believe that, then my argument is, do you believe that the future can be predicted through the horoscope? Do you believe that the future could be predicted by reading your palm of your hand?
I see your husband, Larry. Yeah, he getting a massage. Oh, he getting more than just a massage. He's very happy. Yeah, he having sex with her hand. Oh, she pumped 32 times, then whoosh!
So, I mean, that is an example, don't you think? Larry, isn't that a good example of...
Do you believe that the future can be predicted by reading tarot cards? I particularly don't. I don't. But if you do believe in superstition, I have nothing against that. And actually, I don't have an argument. You might be right. I personally don't, but that doesn't mean that I'm right and it doesn't. What it means is that I don't believe in it. But, if you say I believe that you can, tell what's going to happen by looking at the stars, then okay. Then the price of Bitcoin may be predicted by someone. I don't believe it can be done, but that would be the only argument. Because these people, professionals that claim to know what the price is going to do, are basically tarot readers. I don't care how many credentials they got, time and time again, professionals and amateurs and just basically anybody has gotten it wrong more times than right. Is that prediction or is that throwing the dice? You tell me. So this whole price thing, what do we expect to do, right? What are we expected to do? We don't know what the price is gonna do. So should we buy? Should we sell? No. Okay, no. That's not the right answer. The right answer is we don't know what the price is going to do. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the basics of the technology. How does it work? What can you do with it? What's possible? What could be possible in years to come? How is this going to revolutionize finance? How can I use this to better my situation? Not by getting rich, but by getting smarter. Invest in knowledge, not in Bitcoin. Now, that is actually a do as I say, not as I do kind of advice, because I myself, believe it or not, believe that the price will go up. And the reason why I think the price will go up is because every year Bitcoin gets more attraction. And also there's every year there's more advancements in the technology. And so eventually it will become useful. And when it does, people are going to acquire it. People, institutions, computers, robots, whatever. And so my prediction is that the price in the long term will go up. But that doesn't mean that I know. I don't know. I'm just throwing the dice.
Just accounted for me. I won. Give me my money.
You what?
Hello.
Roll the dice.
Well, there you have it. That's all I got to say about the price. There is no such thing as price. No one knows what's it gonna do. Invest in knowledge or throw the dice. Thank you for listening. Aloha.